Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to today's very first webinar session. We have got Jeanette Lau with us. She will be sharing on the topic of website personalization, improving conversion with personalized shopping experience. Jeanette is a merchant success director at Jumpstart Commerce, the go-to digital commerce agency in the region. She works with ambitious brands to launch and grow their global commerce. With over 15 years of experience delivering cloud and mobile solutions to enterprises in multiple roles, Jeanette's forte is to match the right resources with the best services and solutions to achieve results and achieve economies of scale. So Jeanette, I would like to pass the floor over to you. Jeanette?
Hi everyone, good morning. Okay, good. I'm just going to start. Thanks Maisie for the introduction. I prepared 10 points to cover in today's session. Further ado, I'll start. I'm not sure how many of you have heard of Shopify and Shopify Plus. It's an e-commerce platform that also powers brands and companies omni-channel as well. Okay, so Jumpstart is a Shopify Plus partner working with brands and companies to build their own direct-to-consumer e-commerce stores. These are the four main areas that we work with for companies. We create their e-commerce strategy. We help them to launch their stores. We have a lot of merchants who are looking at moving or switching from their current e-commerce platform to one that it's very dynamic, like the one Shopify offers, and also provides more economies of scale. We work with merchants ongoing to help them achieve better conversion rate and success for their online business. This is a screenshot of Jumpstart listed on the Shopify website, where it has us rated as one of the highest Shopify experts around the world. Some of the brands that we've worked with, some of them you may be familiar, but our merchants are essentially almost 50% overseas as well. So some of them here, we have merchants from all different kinds of verticals, from selling collectible sneakers to wine, to even items that you're not supposed to buy in Singapore, like vape, and then also apparel and F&B. This is an article that covered us and our experience working with Shopify and helping companies launch online. Okay, so now this is a quick slide that I really wanted to just cover. The idea of personalization is not new for brands. This extension of personalization is just like how you would experience when you go into a store. Considering if you, let's say you go into Nespresso store, for example, they will ask you what kind of coffee do you like, what kind of strength, what kind of a drinker are you. So with personalization online, essentially we are talking about bringing that brick and mortar experience online, where you don't ask, essentially you don't ask like a female shopper if they prefer to buy something for what you ask them what they want to, what they are looking for before you suggest products to them, right? So it's a discovery journey of finding out what they like and then doing the right, making the right recommendations so that you hope to convert them or start a relationship with them, right? So we are looking at, in terms of data, a higher percentage of shoppers who likes the brands to know what they like and then offer specific products to them, right? And then also with that, we want to bring about a better, higher conversion rate for your business. Okay, this is a recent report by Gartner. I've listed the link to download the report as well. For if you are interested to find out how personalization and what are the areas of personalization you want to focus on. Okay. So now I'm just going to quickly run through these 10 points that I prepared. Okay. The first point with personalization, um, it's actually about whether your product or your service can allow customers to put in what they want as part of their customization, right? So this is an example of a brand that we worked with in KL, where they allow customers to add in a name for the product. Okay. This is another brand in Australia that we've worked with, where for every phone case, you can choose the initials that you want to put on the phone case. You can also choose to put some emoticons and also choose the text color that you want your phone case to have. Okay. Okay. The second point that I wanted to cover would be talking about product recommendations. Right? So this is a very big point because you want to show your customers what is relevant for them. So this first example, it's showing how on your homepage, for example, you can actually put out the hot sellers, because being in trend, it's something very relevant for certain verticals, for apparel especially, right? So people want to know what is trending, maybe because it is currently having a good deal, like a discount off, or it's trending because it's just a seasonal hot pick. Okay, so on your homepage, if you have a section just on hot sellers, it makes your customer understand what is trending. And then for those who wants to get a good deal or do not know what to buy, they will rely on this section to say, hey, this could be something that is suitable for me. Okay. Another section that is usually implemented would be what the customers have already recently viewed, right? So for them, when they go through, especially for mobile shopping, the to and back experience, having a recently viewed section kind of re-upsell to them the product that they were interested in, and to try and make them convert them to be adding the item into their cart. Okay, the third section that I wanted to just roughly touch about would be a match, right? So this is very common in marketplaces and also like Amazon or Prime, where you will see for what you have added to cart, what are the other items that are usually quite popular to be added, right? So this can run based on an algorithm where there are some e-commerce platforms out there that actually be able to go through all the history of sales that have been made, and then say a relation between, let's say, this dress and this earring, right? So that will actually allow customers to also have a discovery process where they can see, okay, with that, if I'm looking for something else, what would you recommend me? Okay. And then the last point for recommendations, I really want to talk about a bit more about upsell and cross-sell. So in this example, I have somebody who added a t-shirt, right? So on the cart page, usually customers are looking forward to a checkout process, but they may want to also add another item because they want to get the free delivery, or they just wanted to be able to say, for this example, to complete the look. Okay, so every touch point on your e-commerce journey is an opportunity for you to resell. Just like how when you go to supermarket, just beside the cashier, they will put a list of items that are on good value for you to ask you to add to your cart before you check out. Okay, the third point I really wanted to talk about is search. I think this is an area that a lot of merchants sometimes overlook, because as you are preparing your store, your product photos, your product description, you forget how customers come onto your store to discover products. So in certain e-commerce platforms like Shopify, we actually offer reports that lets you have an insight on what are the keywords that your customers are searching for. So this tool that I specifically wanted to point out would be what are the top keywords that your customers have been searching, and also what are the keywords that they have searched and has no results, right? So we work with, for example, online grocery. They realize that customers like to search for certain keywords. For example, they could be searching for things like a keto diet, right, which is a very specific diet that applies to a range of products, right? So even if they do not offer keto products, diet products in their database or in their product list, they can also still recommend products that would match audience searching for this. Okay, so in the next couple of slides, I'm just going to run through some examples how you can actually make store searches more robust and make sure that your customers are not going away empty-handed when they're searching for something, that they will actually at least find something that you would recommend them as a substitute. Okay, so for example, when we talk about customers searching for a top, right, we don't want them to, they are not specifically looking for a top item, but they are looking at anything that is a top. If for some reason your navigation do not already organize your products by top, for example, then search will be able to do what we call a suggestive search, right? So because I said if somebody searches top, then please suggest to them these other products. Okay. And then there's also this term called a synonym, where you're talking about if anybody searches for beach wear, then they could be searching for a bikini or a swimsuit, right? And if the customers enter a wrong spelling, it will still give them a possible result, because we have already planned that if they type in the wrong keyword, it actually relates to beachwear. So in the example on the left, the beachwear is spelled wrongly, right? But it will still bring up to the customer some products in the store. Okay, this is another way where you actually talk about redirecting and grouping keywords together. So if somebody is looking for Apple or searching the keyword iPhone and MacBook, you bring them to this collection where it consists of all the Apple products. Okay, and then if somebody searches for mouse and keyboard, for example, as the last point in my image, they could be looking at accessories or gear for their machines, for their computers. Okay, so that's where you relate them and then bring them to a collection where they can find all of these items. Okay, so I get a lot of questions about how do customers or how do merchants understand their customers better, right? So there are some popular e-commerce analytics tool out there. This example I'm showing to you on screen now is called Hotjar. It actually does a screen recording of how your customer interacts with your store, right? It removes away any sensitive data. So if, let's say your customer has checked as what we call logged in, or have checked in their details, that their credit card information, or that all those will not be recorded. So you will not worry about like an infringement of privacy, right? What this Hotjar does is it actually just records how your customers interact, right? So if let's say they offer also a free plan of 2,000 page views. So you can actually have a 2,000 page views of how your customers interact, right? So it's really going through that 2,000 page view video recording to see if there's a certain pattern, right? I have an example of a store that we had Hotjar installed and analyzed. So over here, you can see that the spots that are has the red heat maps, those are the very popular items that people are looking for. And all the blue spots that you see across are when people are trying to click on it, right? So for this example, we can see that, okay, on the left, people are very interested in reviews, right? So that's why on top of the price, people are always clicking on reviews. And we see that for the product itself, customers are trying to like move or rotate the product, right? So when we come to the store design, we realize that, okay, we might need to make this section rotatable because customers want to interact with it. Okay. All right. I wanted to just run through something that's not completely new, but for e-commerce platform perspective, we're really trying to push through more AR experiences for customers. That involves you creating your products in 3D models and then putting it into your online store, right? So I'm just going to quickly play this video, which talks about an example of a store that we're trying to put together an AR experience.
Jeanette, we can't hear the sound of the
Oh,
video.
sorry, hold on. Can't hear the sound.
Mm.
Okay.
There is a more button where you can click to share computer sound.
Yeah, but it's not really. Hold on.
Because you're muted, can you see on the video there is that mute in the volume
Yeah,
on the
it
video
wasn't
itself?
me.
You
Hold on.
try?
Let me just. Okay, try again.
Mm.
Can I hear right?
Cannot.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. Maybe
Because
you
of my
remove your
audio.
earpiece.
Yeah, I think so because that's the.
Yeah. Sorry, everyone.
Yep.
Good.
We like to be on the cutting edge. We like to be experimental. Here in AR, I was like, oh, look at this. Your brain starts to think that you're looking at the product. And you get really close into it and see, great detail about it. Creating the model was super easy. We already take photos of all of our bikes, so we uploaded those to the marketplace. And within a couple of days and one revision or two, it looked exactly like our bike. And then it was seamless. It just popped right into our store. I think it's much easier to see the frame in AR and like walk around it and see the geometry. And if you can see it and like see it in your apartment or see it in your living room, it feels more real. Between 50 and 60% of our visits are mobile. Of that, 60-70% of that's Safari. And it's enabling all those customers to see our products in AR without having to do anything. And AR is a better experience. It's not something you can get in a series of photos online. And so we obviously want to offer that to our customers.
Okay. Okay, so for this AR slide, it's a little bit different from the developments of AR, where you sometimes require the customers to have an app, right, to be able to play the AR, right? So we are trying to build AR so that it works within your phone itself, within your same browser that you are shopping on. So you don't need to download something else to experience the AR created for the product. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to quickly
Sorry,
run through. Sorry.
Jeanette, could you? Yeah, is it in full screen?
Yeah, sorry.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Okay, all right. So the next example that I want to bring through would be product filters. Okay, so on this example screenshot would be for one of our merchants called the Panic Room. They sell men accessories for hair, for barber, for skincare, right? So what we realized that if your products appeal to different a gender, for example, the shopping experience is quite can be quite different. So over here, because they have so many different things like a shaving cream or soap, their customers, we found out from data that they actually like to filter by the type of scent, right? Which is not a very common way of shopping, because usually we assume that for male audiences, they probably just want to shop by the type and shop by brands, for example. But when we've added the scent option in, we see that our conversion rate is higher because customers buying these products are looking for an experience, and they can relate the experience to the scent of the product. Right, so enabling a product filter will help your customers feel that the products are being merchandised in a way that it suits what they are looking for. Okay. The seventh point that I wanted to run through would be delivering a loyalty program for your brand, right? Because everybody goes to online and shop, and what they want is, if I'm coming back to you, what kind of incentives am I getting for you to also recognize that I'm loyal to your brand, right? So with a loyalty program in place, you can actually customize your rewards to what your customers look out for. So we have a merchant that does formula and milk for infants and toddlers. So they found out, for example, the most popular rewards for mothers that are buying and shopping there would be, say, shopping voucher for NTUC, right? Or it would be exchanging for other milk tins, right? So it keeps them from coming back. It keeps them coming back because they want to earn enough points to be able to redeem for those items, right? And then if you talk about loyalty program, for example, if you look at something that it's platform related, say Grab, they've extended their loyalty program to allow you to get points, to change points for donation to charities, which I feel like it is an option, an alternative for people who are in the spirit of giving, rather than just getting like discount vouchers or a product that they may not need or do not appeal to. So I think a loyalty program, depending on the verticals and the products you sell, it could be a very strong point because it encourages customers to keep coming back. Right? One of the data that you see in your store would be the ratio of customers that are returning and also the ratio of new customers. So with new customers, you could be looking at a high advertising spend because you're always looking for new customers through paid search, through paid ads. Whereas loyalty program, if they are your pool of customers that have already tried your product, like your product, they are very likely to come back and return and make more purchases, right? So instead of spending on keep spending on ad buy, you are actually using that budget to run a loyalty program with a core group of customers that you know will keep coming back. Okay, this other slide that we've added would be really to talk about cross-border selling, right? So you could be already selling your products overseas, and this is a point where, okay, I could be selling in SGD, right? But I have a group of customers who is coming from, let's say, Japan, right? The value they want to see when they are buying is to see the product in their local currency. Then they could measure the value that they're getting from your product to their online options, right? So when they come onto this site, for example, automatically, because we can identify they're coming from IP address from Japan, we will display the price in Japanese yen. And then if somebody is coming from UK, for example, they will be able to, coming from Europe, they will be able to see the price in euros. Okay, so without them having to toggle the different currencies, they'll be able to see the price that is relevant to them, and that we've seen in data that it actually encourages purchase. Okay, point 9, this is what we call community automation. So when we talk about brand loyalty and understanding your customers, we are also trying to say, is there a possibility for you to build your own communities, right? So if you can be a brand that you can say, okay, I have a group of customers who are looking at a specific range of product, let me build a community around them and give them information that would relate to them. Right, so in this 2 screenshot example by this company called Beard Brand, if you've bought what we call a beard shampoo, it's very likely that you have a beard, right? Unless you're buying for a friend, we will send you an email on how to use this product. Okay, so on top of just getting a thank you email and then a shipping confirmation email, you're trying to reach out and say, hey, we could even target that if this is your first time purchase with us, you could be new at growing a beard, right? So we want to share with you how you can use the product. And then also in the process, we could be trying to upsell you. You could have bought the shampoo and you didn't buy the brush or the comb, right? So we're trying to say, okay, with your shampoo, it will best work with these 2 products so they can add to cart. Or we can say, okay, if you already bought this, we just want to share and build that engagement with you and share this information through email, right? And then the example on the right is the same. Somebody bought beard oil, beard wash. So they want to teach you how you can use it so that you get the best results as possible. Okay. And then over here, I have another example, which is a product that we can't get in Singapore, it's vape. So they actually it's very similar to some of the other verticals. For example, we found that with wine, it could work the same as well, where if you buy a bottle, it will probably last you for 30 days, right? So after 30 days, the customers are very likely to return and buy, but they would really like it if you actually send them a reminder email to ask for a refill, right? Say, okay, or if you just bought 6 bottles of wine, you bought a case, right? And then you want to just nudge your customers to say, hey, do you want a refill? And with this refill, we could be cross-selling you other products that you've not tried before, or we could be in the mood of certain seasonal sales to say, we are very close to 11/11, but then you just refill early, and then with that, we will give you a discount code for your purchase. Right. So for certain verticals, we've seen that refilling emails really push for quite a big percentage of customers coming back. And then you can actually measure from there which are your most loyal customers. Okay. So all in all, what we really want to talk about in today's and sharing session is just how, if you can think about extending your brand with personalization on your business, we are looking at 3 key areas of measurement. Can we convert your customers better? Can we convert customers who have not purchased to finally make a purchase with you, to start a relationship with you? Of course, with every conversion, you can see the impact to your revenue. And then on a longer strategy, you want to build brand loyalty. So as you know me better as your customer, you will be able to push and share with me information that are related to what I'm looking for. So when I come to your store, I don't feel like I'm a complete stranger. I feel like, okay, you know that I'm looking for these areas and you are constantly engaging me on that front. Okay. Yeah. So with that, I've kind of complete my 10 points that I really want to share on how personalization can impact your online business and deliver a difference. Okay. Can we, do a Q&A? If there's any questions for us.
Any questions from the audience? You can actually key your questions into the Q&A button found at the bottom of your screen. If not, I've opened the chat for everyone to send in their questions as well, if that's easier for you. So if you have any questions, please key into the chat. Jeanette, we have a question. Okay, Jeanette, we have a question from an attendee called Ho Ming Yi. The attendee is asking, what kind of budgets should we be looking at? So I assume what kind of budget should we be looking at in setting up a personalized website?
Could we ask back whether, could you share more about what you're looking at? Do you already have a store that you want to just add on a personalization program? Are you looking at building from scratch? Would we be able to?
Okay, Ming Yi, let me see. Ming Yi, I'm going to unmute you. Maybe you may want to ask your questions live. Okay. Ming Yi, I've allowed you to talk. You can actually ask.
Hi, Jeanette.
Hi.
Hello.
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 Hi, Ming Yi, we can all hear you. Ming Yi, we can hear you.
Hello.
Hi, Ming Yi. Ming Yi, you can answer Jeanette's question. We can hear you.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi, can you hear us? Okay, I think maybe we mute him first, and then
Yes.
there is another question, I think.
Okay. Yes. So who takes care of delivery to consumer? So that's the question. The next question from Tina.
Do you mean, okay, Tina, I assume you're talking about fulfillment of your goods to customers. So for Shopify, because we are just a platform, the merchants will work with the delivery companies to deliver the items. So there are many providers in the market that you can work with, like Easy Sheet, Aramex, Roadbull. So they will do the fulfillment part. Okay.
Mm.
Hope that
We have
answers
another
your question.
question. We have another question from the chat. It's asking, do you think personalization is suitable for property development?
I'm assuming the question would be for targeting at people buying homes, be it for own stay and for investment. So I find that property development, it's relevant, right? Because depending on the demographic of the user, they would have specific requirements, right? So if it's a young couple, then they may be looking at a smaller place. If it's not their first home, then they could be looking at an upgrade. So I think personalization is very relevant to property developments, because you really have to, because if I'm looking for a 4-bedroom, for example, and you're pushing me a 2-bedroom, and let's say I want a bomb shelter, right? And then if you keep pushing me 2 rooms or projects that have only 2 rooms available, then I will feel that it's very irrelevant, right? So the whole idea of personalization would be, you first must be able to segment your customers type, and then look at what would be the messaging or the relevant products that can push to the different segments. Yeah, I hope I answer your question.
Okay, we go back to Meng Yi's question, right? So she initially asked what kind of budget should we be looking at? So she says that if we already have our own website, what do you suggest we do?
I mean, this is a very broad question. It really depends on what kind of business you're selling. Do you already have a certain traffic coming to your store, right? I think when we look at personalization, it is not the start of it all. Usually you have to also look at how you drive traffic to your store, right? With traffic, with a certain amount of traffic coming to you, be it through content syndication, be it through content strategy or through paid ads, then you can say with this group of audience that are coming, look at their purchase history, right? Or through any interaction with them, then you can look at whether this group of customers will work well with a loyalty program, right? So some of the verticals that we've seen really useful with a loyalty programs are like, for example, groceries. Because if I'm buying chicken, fries, bread, I'm always going to need all those things, right? So loyalty program and personalization is very relevant, right? I want to buy a refill. I want to know what is the deals for groceries. So it's very, very relevant. Fashion would be more about brand, about shopping for new seasons. But if let's say your product is one that very unlikely to make a repurchase, let's say you are like maybe something related to mother gifting, right? So I have a merchant that sells those bean sprout pillow husk for babies. So for her, personalization could be a bit more challenging. So she tries to bring personalization with, okay, do you want to engrave a name? Do you want to put in the initials of the baby? So have to really see what your business is and then analyze from there.
Okay, we have another question from Gavin. He asked, what kind of loyalty program can we implement for B2B?
Okay, so with B2B vertical, we found that points are very good, where you encourage them to get every $5 gets you 1 point. You need 1,000 points, and then you can redeem for a voucher, for example, right? So with B2B, usually we are looking at higher volume. We are looking at a lot of repurchase, right? So a loyalty program with points would be quite good. And then also, let me just bring up my slides. And if you're B2B, sorry, just look at specific for loyalty program. B2B wise, points is relevant. Review is quite important, right? Because with B2B, you're looking at a closed audience. So sometimes a review of the products will give them extra points. That's quite useful as well. Another one that really worked for B2B I've seen is loyalty tiers, right? So if I spend 100,000 with you for the first year, then I could be in the silver tier. And then if I'm 250,000 spend, then I could be in the gold tier. So with different tiers, I get different perks that would usually work quite well with B2B. Because it gives them a feel that I'm treated better because I've been a very loyal customer.
Okay, we have a few more questions. So Mike asks, do you have any advice on how the marketing expect to drive traffic to our website? So I assume what kind of advice would you give on how to drive traffic to our own websites?
There are many ways to drive. Like, again, it depends on your vertical, right? So there's one sharing session that I had was maybe in the past, some brands are quite particular about their positioning. So if your brand is quite new and you have good quality photos and all that, you can sometimes use free marketplaces out there to list yourself. So an example would be, say, Carousel, right? Carousel offers free usage. You can list it, and it's a great discovery starting point, right? Especially for new brands. With Shopify, for example, we work with Google. So if you spend the first $75, we will give you a $75 credit, right? So driving traffic, it's a very long process, and it's very competitive because you probably have seen it for like medical specialists, right? I could see my gynae, who's a very like well-known gynae, but when I search for his name, I will see all the other list of gynaes. So everybody is bidding for paid search in that way. Of course, with social, it's very cluttered. It's hard to stand out. But if you take baby steps and do, say, build a community, try to get reviews, that would be your starting point.
Thank you, Jeanette. We have another question here. So I think this is related to each other. So is this, whatever you've shared, right? Is this under their own website or is it under Shopify? And then a leading question to it would also be, what are the upfront costs to kickstart?
Okay, so the examples that I showed are Shopify powered websites, but they are all having their own what we call a brand.com, right? So if your brand is the amazing baby product, for example, it will be the amazingbabyproduct.com, right? Shopify is just the e-commerce platform that's powering the store at the back, right? In terms of the starting costs of building your own e-commerce store, if you are a company now, there's a PSG grant for you to get up to 80% if you sign up before 31st December of the first year subscription cost with Shopify. So Shopify subscription there are 3 plans, $29, $79, and $299 a month. Okay, so if you go on an annual plan, you can take this opportunity to get the PSG grant, right? Shopify is used by brands and companies of all sizes. If you are quite good at picking up and learning new skills, you can look at Shopify website and learn it on your own and actually build it. Shopify system is very easy to use for anyone, so that is probably a starting point. If you are a bigger company and you prefer a professional help, that's where we can come in and assist and give you a proposal for working out for you, right? Or sometimes we have companies who've done the first legwork on their own and then they come to us for more assistance.
Actually, this is what happened with, that was how I got to know Jeanette. So the bus business used to be under SPH, and then we were on the initial like the basic plan for Shopify. We decided we needed more customization. So that was how we got Jeanette in. And I think it will be useful for our audience if, let's say, you're looking to go to a second level of having a more customized e-commerce site. That's when you can get Jeanette's help to see how it can be customized to your business needs, to make Shopify customized to your business needs. Okay, let's answer one last question from Sandra. So Sandra's first question, oh, actually it's not Sandra, Emily and Sandra. So Emily asked, based on your experience, with refill email, what is the successful percentage for repeat order or purchase?
For refill for certain verticals is high, right? So when we run for the example that I gave just now, we can see almost a 50 to 75% repurchase, right? Yeah, because the product is something that they need it. It's like milk powder, they need it, so they will just keep buying because it's like it's a product that they require. But if it's like even with hair products, we find it very, very successful, right? So the key thing with running a refill would be to have an email marketing tool that can be able to automate that process for you, right? It can automate the segment. It can automatically segment customers based on buying behavior. It can allow you to create flows and automate sending out emails based on those segments, and then also be able to report back to you the success rate of this campaign or refill emails. So once you can have that set up, then it's very easy to measure it.
I think to put into context for this event, because it's on gifts, office, and gifts and premiums, right? For office supplies, it's especially useful because office supplies will run out. And this is when a refill needs to come in. And for businesses, you can always put in this automation there where if, let's say, your customers take 60 days to finish their supplies, then maybe you should send a reminder email at the 50th day point and get them to refill their supplies. One last question, just really one last question, which is related to refill. So besides refill email, what other means can we reach out to remind customers? Would you have any case studies on that?
I think there are a lot, because with refill, this is just one way that we can use email to reach out. We've also done what we call a win back, right? So that win back could be based on abandoned cart, right? So Maisie have added something to cart. She's not come back since. So we are reaching out to her one more time and say, you know, Maisie, with this, would you like to consider? And then we could, usually abandoned cart email stops there. It's only one, but with a robust email tool, you can reach out to them maybe a second time and then a third time, right? And then it's only at the third time, say you offer a little bit of icing on the cake and you say, okay, I'll give you a discount, I'll give you a GWP, or I'll give you a PWP offer. Okay, so so win back is one. Of course, the longer plan that I shared earlier was the community part, where you say, okay, if I know Maisie, she likes products from a certain range, then whenever we have a new range, let's reach out to her again. Okay, or we have a promotion or something new in this category that she likes, let's reach out to her again.
Okay. I'm sure everyone can see the message from Kate. Jeanette, you can also show your last slide. Okay. So yes, do you want to share more about this?
Maybe Kate.
Hi everyone. Hi. Thanks for joining our session today. So actually we've got a QR code here that you can actually scan. It's just a 5-question survey. It's not even going to take you 5 minutes. If you could complete the survey for us, let us know how this experience was, share with us where you're at on your e-commerce journey. We'll then be sending you an email with the slides from today, the full set of slides. We've also created a quick guide on like 5 quick wins you can actually execute now to start your personalization journey. And we've also just, started working with a new partner of ours where they are providing all of Jumpstart's merchants, any of our clients, 5% cashback on your monthly digital business spend, and we'd like to extend that to you guys as well. So if you could just complete the survey for us, we'll get this email to you as soon as possible. And thank you for your time today.
Thank you. So please go fill in. Kate has also put the form link into the chat box. So you can go into the chat and click through to the link. That's when more information will be provided to you. So please complete the survey, and the team will send you the slides from there. So if we will have no more questions from here. Thank you, Jeanette, for spending time with us, for taking this 1 hour to share on Shopify and also on how businesses can personalize their website to provide a more customized shopping experience for their customers. We would like to also remind our attendees here that we've got another webinar session happening at 1 p.m. So don't forget to come and join us again. We will be sharing on the topic of social commerce. Thank you everyone for joining us today, and I hope you have a good lunch. Thank you, Jeanette. Thank you, Kate. Have a good week ahead, everybody. We will end the session here. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.